Hanta Toyobu. Oh, let me move this over here. Dude, what a day it's been, man. What an awesome day. Y'all, this anime season's so good, man. It's so good. Where's my capture? There it is. Let's go, dudes. And we get some Togashi greatness today, man. So, and I don't have to stress the Eagles don't play today. Oh, it's a wonderful day. It's a wonderful day, man. No stress in my heart. Blue Box dropped a chapter that absolutely decimated my soul. More than a married couple, not lovers. I was just peak. Bochi the Rock was just peak. Spy Family was just like, oh my, the wholesomeness, you know? And now to cap all that off, we're going to be experiencing some of that Togashi greatness, ladies and gentlemen. So nothing but love to I Love Cody and MK in the chat. I appreciate y'all for being here. I know that we were supposed to have done this on Friday, but I didn't have the opportunity to do it on Friday. Hopefully next week we'll be back to doing it on Friday. I believe it was around like 7 o'clock my time that the chapter came out on Friday, and I was like, I won't be able to do it. And then I already knew I had to record the afterthoughts, right? So I was like, man, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be another Sunday stream for Hunter x Hunter. But we're here to cap off an awesome chapter. Sherlon, thank you very much for stopping by. He says text chapter today. I'm ready for that. The more text, the better. You know Togashi's cooking when there's a lot of text in a chapter. So if this chapter has a lot of text, then we're in there. All right, let me go ahead and make sure. We actually have some good lighting today, man. Let's go, dude. Praise God. All right, here we go. Hanta Toyobu, chapter 394. Let me make sure these camera. Okay, I think we should be good. Yeah, I think we should be good. I don't mind stepping over that away. So we remember last time there was the situation here with Hendrig and the old man. The title of the chapter is called Hypothesis. I don't mind stepping over that away, but see, I need to use the bathroom. You know what they say, the old bladder gets overactive as you age. Just wet your pants. Hendrig's like, yo, I ain't trying to hear none of that. Just use the bathroom right here, right now, where I can see you. That's it. Have a heart. They say even a worm will turn. Yeah! And he just gets the knife right down in his... Oof. Hits him right in the top part of his right thigh. How could you? I haven't done anything wrong. And he's just going down for his leg. He's like me right now, peg leg style. I don't even see any blood. Where's your real body? I'll show you what happens when a human being gets stabbed. I used to be an insurance scammer. The more you yell and roll in pain, the more people imagine it. The more people imagine it must be a serious injury. It's a tough world out there, huh? Who cares? Where's the corporal and where's your body? He just withers away? He disappeared into thin air? He has powers like you, bro. Henrig. Can't we leave Haley to the Phantom Troop? You found Hisoka, we should deal with the rest in order. First, we'll have the troop wreak havoc in their hideout. I'll go fetch the blade. Hey, don't go in there. So, walks in, also disappears into thin air. What? I knew it. So it's like after you pass a certain point, you disappear. But I'm going to assume when you disappear, it's not like you die or anything, right? It most likely works like Madara's limbo, if you've ever watched Naruto, where like you just get transported into a different world. So especially in a place like Hunter x Hunter, I can imagine they're probably like in another world, like darkness or something. And after like they walk around for a while, maybe they'll make their way back. But it is the rules of Nen. So after they take a few steps, or they have to meet a certain like threshold, right? Maybe it's like a few steps, or maybe it's after you walk past a certain point. Maybe it's a territorial thing, like after this line, after you cross this line, that's whenever you disappear. So that very well could be the case. So Tassie's gone. What? I knew it. Must be the same guy who's kidnapping our men. This trap sends you somewhere when you enter the room, like Kuma. It's a trap, but set by someone else. The troops Nobunaga eliminated that killer. Really? 3 of them were staying in our office for a bit, but they've left. But the killer's head and torso were left behind. It was their idea to crush Haley. I see. They'll take care of this trap too. I'll follow up on my own leads in the meantime. So here we get to see the individual, Tassie, I believe was his name. I just went in the room. Why am I in front of the door? And then Tassie just gets... Oh, they were transported over to Morena's side? Of course, obviously, but so that's where the transportation takes you. Is over to Morena's side. So, gets the knife or gets his throat sliced. Toss to the side. Alright, I made it to level 21. I had that Call of Duty dun 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 dun. You know, whenever you level up. I'll take this. Grats. Yeah, I was a transmuter. Come on, emitter. Yeah, conjurer. A lot of left-handed people are conjurers. Mont, this is the last one. Terrabellum the emitter. Transporter / hitman. Level 21. A lot of level 21s. Voconte, you know, in a JRPG, whenever like your whole party has to be like around the same level before you go on, Morena's out here making all her entire party just continue to level up and progress. It's like, yo, we're not leaving this dungeon until the grind is done. You remember the Dick Tree thing? You don't know what I'm talking about. Dick Tree was the first, I think it was the fastest or the first person to level up to 99 in Final Fantasy VII and actually like take a picture of it in just the first level. So it was like in just the bombing run, going to level 99. You had like this one grind so I could go back and forth, and the individual's name was Dick Tree. And there's a story on it online. It's insane how long it took to do this. Because it was back on the original PS1. You didn't even have the option of like ×3 to do it. This is legitimately on the PlayStation 1 grinding for years on end. And so that's what Morena's doing right here. Doing the old FF7 grind in a single dungeon before we move on to any other part. But we'll see if we have the ×3 time on here, right? Where it could just make things much faster. This is the last one. Voconte connected this room to processing. Okay. Chief, could you help over there? Sure. We'll all reach level 21 soon. Almost time for you guys to level up. Okay. Chiefon Toto. Conjurer. Sewing arts and crafts. Level 6. Mont Black Toto. Conjurer. Cleaner / feed manufacturing. Level 3. So 2 individuals here. One level 6. One level 3. And they're stressing. Like we cannot move from this spot until we're all level 21, son. That's the magic number. We haven't been able to reach the double VIP area. Butler, our Lias, I always forget how to say this. Liaison. I know what it means. It's just I forgot how to say it. Liaison, right? With the 4th prince. I see terror sandwich might have realized. I thought we had more time until this place was discovered. Gatame's report shows this is not the case. So I'd like to recruit one of Terror Sandwich's personal soldiers. I want someone to capture one while helping Dogman. I think I'd prefer to be the organ. Then I'll go. Matt Veer transmitter. Another level 21. Sodom back alley doctor hit level 31! Bro, you know... I almost knocked it over again. You know, whenever you have that one person in your party that's just like really, really OP that's only there for like a certain amount of time, that's this person, Sodom, manipulator, a back alley doctor / hitman, level 31, and here we even get to see Morena, aka the player, the person who is grinding away at these individuals. Like, yo, y'all ain't moving from here until you reach level 21 minimum. Considering his personality, I love Morena's design. It is such a go-to design. Considering his personality, he'll want to deal with me, the traitor, one-on-one. But during the succession battle, I can't predict when and how he'll move. I want to infect someone on his side with contagion in order to track his movements. If you find a soldier on the list, bring them here. You can't use room 3101 anymore, so enter from door C. Right. Orarge and Yokotani continue to keep watch over the door, though you'll only get military and Yakuza now. If you get any of Terror Sandwich's men, invite them here. Got it. The first prince's men would be bad. Is there any lawful basis on which to send them away? Orarge Enhancer Waste Disposal Contractor, level 21. That most certainly sounds like someone working in the Yakuza department. And the only reason why I say that is because, as a fan of The Sopranos, you know, waste and the Department of Waste, none. Hiyoko Tani, an unscrupulous, a lawyer, an unscrupulous lawyer, level 27. So Morena has a back alley doctor, a temp agency, and a mediator. She has a whole business. She might have a whole city. A lawyer, a contractor, or a waste disposal contractor, back alley doctor, and a hitman. Somebody in charge of staffing at a temp agency. Another hitman, which is also a transporter. Somebody who was sewing arts and crafts, and a cleaner. This is insane. Morena has a whole city under her. Noda and Souffle go back to room 3131 to see what's going on with room 3101. Roger. Notre conjure a plumber! Level 24. Mario? Hey, he's got the sideburns going too. Where's the mustache, Notre? Come on, man. Souffle. Transmuter, a hacker. Okay, Tio, level 28. How do we get back? How do we... What would be more accurate, Tio or Ren? Are you gold enough to be Ren? That is the question. Trails reference. How do we get back to room 3131? Well, we just got back to the hideout via 3131 and through disposal, aka the laundry room. So disposal is both waste and the laundry room. It's like, yo, I'm gonna go handle my laundry. You go out there, you catch a body. You know what I mean? That's their lingo. Like, yo, when we enter the laundry room, we ain't coming out until there's blood in our hands, son. So we do the reverse. Go to the laundry room, to the processing room, aka the shower room, and out through the living room door. Run that by me again? Why can't you get it the first time? It's gonna get you killed. Dog? So here we have a dog, an actual dog dude. You have the most important role, Morena. I need you to find what I'm looking for. Yo, do you see the way Morena's sitting in the chair? Yo, Morena's sitting in the chair like, son. Oh, yeah. Gotta love that. Oh. And a Scarface energy going, like, hold on, man. Like the boss for real. Hey, sometimes, even the way that you sit indicates your status, right, within an organization. Like, you just walk in and be like, yo, that just the way that person's sitting, you can tell they're about it. They are about it. You have the most important role. I need you to find what I'm looking for. Yep. I'll need to level up. Dogman Enhancer Pro Wrestler. Yo! Can I join Morena? You know, can I? I'm a Phantom Troop tard. But if I had another option here, I would join Morena. Brother, I got everything I need. I have entertainment. I could watch my pro wrestling. You know what I mean? I could watch some WWE. I have a plumber. I got a hacker, a staffing agency, I get a job, a back alley doctor, waste disposal, a lawyer, son, hey, you need a YouTuber? Morena, are you hiring for a writer? Morena, let me know, son, I can level up. Yo, what do you need? Do you need a teacher in the universal language? Son, I'm there. Morena, what you looking for? I level 36, mind you. This Dogman. Pro wrestler. Ooh, Kazuchika Okada under that mask. You have the Undertaker. You're the most important one. I need you to find what I'm looking for. I'll need to level up. It's like, yo, my dog says he needs to level up, literally, but he's level 36, the highest level of anyone that we've seen here. I like that energy. Yes, go to processing and take a priority. Get yourself past 50. And we see a cat here. Weird? And we see, of course, turning into the same object, goes in, takes out the camcorder, and now has it set to record. These individuals break in like they're playing Call of Duty. They're gone. And of course, they're breaking into the room with where Nobunaga did the deed on Char Aznable's members. There's a body here. A Char member, Char Aznable. Now we have just cause for breaking down the door. Contract Central PD and ask for forensics. We were trying to halt the conflict when a Haley member fired at us and ran. That brought us here. Haley didn't submit their member list, so technically they're civilians. And this room was officially registered as their office. So until the suspect is identified, the police will have to treat it as a mafia crime. The problem is if a supposed civilian is killed, we can't tell whether the cops will treat it as a part of the conflict. If a clueless career bureaucrat declares it a mafia hit on a civilian, all bets are off. We need to capture the Haley leader Morena Prudo before it gets to that. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Ideally, we should hand her over without troubling Prince Terror Sandwich. Once again, good luck. We will get ZU and Char Aznable to assist in sweeping through Tier 3. To avoid drawing the attention of the Royal Army or the police, don't bring anything bigger than a revolver. A magnum? Corporal, shouldn't we formulate a playbook beforehand? They're like, yo, we need to get down and go to practice. The other one's probably going to be like, practice? In case there are one or more Nen users within Haley? Nen what? It's a special ability trending in Tier 1. Trending in Tier 1. It's a major threat. It's related to why Prince Terror Sandwich hasn't immediately responded to this emergency. We should consider how to take control of the situation when normal weapons aren't effective. PV2 Autochin, who gave you that report. Associate Borkson, Royal Quarters Security Detail. PFC Borkson, I'll make a compelling case that she transfers to Tier 3 as an advisor. And PV2 Otoson, never abbreviate Prince... Oh, so I was wondering why it said tarried here. So it was an actual abbreviation here. It wasn't the translator. So never abbreviate Prince Terror Sandwich's name again, or I'll guide your eyes out, you maggot. To make myself clear. Sorry. Oh, he literally. He says it for real. You'll spend the rest of your life working the front with me. I don't care what Nen is, but you'll take the first hit. Got it, you friggin' maggot. Sir. You idiot, you don't have to drag Bork into this, but we'll need intel. It's obvious why Morena chose this moment to rise in revolt. You think she'd pick a fight with Sari? There we go with abbreviation again. If you didn't have a plan? I don't know, I see an idiot without a plan who won't stop pushing the corporal's buttons. It was calculated, we got Bork right. San, I'll shoot you personally, shut your freaking mouth. Stop that, you maggot. The last we'll see of the Royal Military Academy's famous shouting match. Don't even joke about it. It's based on objective facts. The body that had been dead for a few days, he was clearly killed before the second sweep. That means they couldn't find the body, or strictly speaking, were trying not to find it. Well, the military and the cops used their discretion when it comes to mafia scuffles, as long as civilians don't get involved. But surely they didn't think it was a mafia problem during that sweep. And it's likely the search at the Haley office was just a verbal confirmation. The cops know that. The coroner will read between the lines and fudge the time of death to match the official report. But what about the Hunter Association? Yes, what about the Hunter Association? If they stick their noses into forensics, things will change. The tampering will come to light. Like the Spy Family episode. What if they lose faith in the Kakian investigation and do their own? The Hunter Association is supposed to provide security for the princes and support at Central. Would a mafia conflict trigger a criminal investigation? That security assignment is the problem. Even we personal guards didn't know that the mission was a package deal with a super shady ritual until after boarding. If the Hunter Association realizes the bloody bond between the royal family and the mafia, they'll naturally consider that optimizing security for the princes means getting rid of the mafia altogether. Are we positive about that? Uh-oh. Oh, those interests would align with the independent Ministry of Justice. Exactly, and getting rid of the mafia is convenient for the first prince. Brother, you're acting like they don't know. I'm pretty sure, and we're talking about people who are no longer in the Hunter Association, people who are within the Hunter Association. You think that they're not using all of this to their advantage at this point in time? They're sitting back and chilling. They're letting everything that's taking place here, let it happen. Because at the end of the day, none of them are moving a finger. None of the Zodiacs, not Jing, not Paris, and like I said, no ex-member of the Hunter Association or current member. They don't care. They don't give a flying flag darts. Like, screw optimizing anything. They're like, take care of it yourselves. Criminal investigation. You think they care. Especially on a ship to the Dark Continent, those interests would align with the independent Ministry of Justice. Exactly, and getting rid of the Mafia is convenient for the First Prince, the military ministry, and the Hunter Association. 100%! Once rumor spreads that the Mafia might be purged, it'll be an all-out war between the government and the Mafia. It's clear Haley is trying to... Oh, what a painting here in the background. Togashi. It's clear Haley is trying to upset the balance by the fact that they expunged their long-serving members and didn't register the new members, just boarding them as civilians. Like the corporal said, if the head of police demonstrates a lapse in judgment, well, we might be hearing the seven trumpets of the apocalypse real soon. Interesting wording there. A war sounds interesting, but it will break out as a riot. Considering that you could... Yo, listen. Based on the people that are here, you really could make an argument that that we are dealing with like the Four Horsemen here specifically, like symbolically within the Hunter x Hunter world right now on this ship. That's very interesting verbiage. War sounds interesting, but it will break out as a riot. If the Mafia were to join hands and recruit and collude with the proletariat in tiers 4 and 5 would be outnumbered. Corporal Gipper, I have a question. Why don't you reprimand the guys behind me who talk 10 times as much as I do? Because they're smart and you're an idiot. And it's simple as that. The conversation also reflects my opinion, which is to capture Mordena Prudo as soon as possible. Once again, good luck with that. I get it, Corporal, but Sir Otosin has a point. Mamali, can I kiss you? Die. that was on some great T-shirt Onizuka stuff. Like, yo, my dog was like, hey, listen, man. We're about to take on Mordena. I need some action. Mordena's rebellion and the lack of Prince Terror Sandwich's response. Considering the prince's temper, he would put reprisal against a traitor on the back burner only if he's found a new toy. And that's clearly what we're dealing with here. The weapons field stripping and reassembly drill in 7th grade, I wasn't there. They said he holed himself up in his room without eating or sleeping, practicing until he broke the academy speed record. The punk denied practicing and claimed he was playing. What did you call him? He's like, yo, stop calling this man Terror Sandwich something other besides his name. Something else besides his name. Just stop doing it. There was an idiot who argued with him during the drill. The prince shot him in the leg. Why in the leg? After the award ceremony off the record? So not only did the man shoot him in the leg, he can't even file an insurance claim? It was off the record. Brother, he's struggling like me. Yo, he shot him in the leg too, dog? Not the leg, man. You can talk back after you break my record, guy. So he shot back with a gun and not his mouth. Act big just because you're a prince. Show us you've got the skills to back it up. It's a sound argument. Who shoots over that? He's so insecure. You can't apply logic to the prince. That's factual. That is factual. You're the only one who can talk back to him without getting shot. Are you saying that the prince hasn't personally moved to retaliate against Haley because he's in the middle of learning this Nen? Excuse me. I mean, at this point, it's like, if you're Terror Sandwich, and you see that the thing that you are currently learning is the biggest key for you to take out not only just your opponents, but to have an even a higher advantage than you already do, because everybody who knows Nen is already terrified. They see that guardian beast, they don't even want to get near it. They don't even want to get near it. So it's like, this person who is also a Nen genius is also focusing all of their time and effort into attempting to learn this thing because they're just fascinated by it. Terror Sandwich is just fascinated by this concept. And so it's like, what in the world is the Mafia to an individual who has found something else, an already ambitious individual who values so much about this lifestyle, has now found something brand new? It's like, I don't give a flying flag, Marts. It's like, even if they did move in, Terror Sandwich is gonna have after what we saw in the most recent chapters? What? One of them's gonna shoot this man. It's just gonna be like, another one bites Zadasto. And we're gonna see time just go, and that's it. I mean, the man can take himself out of a situation and watch it from a third person's point of view. He can watch Terror Sandwich's Nen ability allows him to see the situation play out before it happens, as it's happening. He has like future sight at the same time as being able to become the third person narrator. Why in the flying flagnars would we be afraid of the Mafia? The same Mafia that got bodied by the Phantom Troop with no difficulty. No difficulty. It's not the same one. I know. I'm just. It's just there, right? But you catch my drift, like, son. The man is on a power high right now. He ain't scared. But specifically, what's being stated here is because he's in the middle of learning Nen, right? Because he's found this new toy, he's found this new plaything. It's like, well, obviously, he's going to be more preoccupied with that than he is with the fact that he needs to do something against traitors or people in retaliation. It's like, at this point, he doesn't give a flying flatters. I don't even know, even if with the Nen thing, he would care. Just a personal thing. I mean, he just kills people for fun, you know? So it's just like, yeah, it is what it is. Yes, I've had at least given some evidence to bolster that hypothesis. We should wait for Borkson to do a fact check and narrow down the possibilities. But the assumption that Morena Prudo doesn't use Nen is too optimistic. They're already on the furthest back foot possible. Morena's out here playing a turn-based JRPG under all of your noses and should be discarded. We should also make transfer requests within a reasonable frequency. Yeah, just in case. Why's that? A purge will be planned as a state secret so the soldiers won't be told when or what. When it's carried out, they'll find an excuse to close the staircase between tiers 2 and 3, with access only given to the Royal Army. So from our perspective, as soon as our transfer requests start getting denied or deferred, we'll know the plans have been set in motion. I hate to say it, but you guys are smart. You could have been in the Prince's entourage of the Royal Army by now, why not? It's too much of a hassle. The carefree squad would rather sit on the fence. Put in the transfer request for myself then. This squad reminds me of the one from '86. You guys ever watched that anime? They really do. On the fence, I suppose if you were my friend, I should be by his side and get on his case. It can't be helped, he was born into it. Being a prince in his nature, we can't do a thing. It's up to him. Sari himself is okay with the way things are. We're not just regular friends once our status and situations change. That's why the status quo is the best. Why does friendship have to take a back seat the closer we get to him? That's why I'll stay at the bottom and keep yelling at the top of my lungs. Love that. I love how we're seeing their thoughts as we head into this next scenario. And then here we see Sari. Is this what you really want? I love that. This page is going to be my favorite page of the chapter thus far. Absolutely. Absolutely. Prince Terrasan, which is being taught Nen by Theta, his personal bodyguard. I knew it. This is top secret. If you tell anyone, we will be demoted. What is this Nen anyway? I don't know. It's classified. I was just about to probe into it. What a shame. Bork, are you pretty mad? Yes, obviously. Talk about a backstab. I told you so you'd be warned. I can't believe you snitched to Gipper. I didn't snitch. We need intel. And we got to propose the transfer request early warning system. You think Gipper would switch out? Now that he's up there, I bet he's proposing to restrict communication with lower tiers because of information leakage, using me as a pretext. You're right, but I still think there's a 5% chance that Gipper would listen to his conscience. Look at the big picture and maintain contact with us. Well, it's still the same now that I'm no longer up there. One comment real quick, before I continue reading. I love whenever Togashi, in the middle of a chapter, will just show the whale, like the ship, and where it is right now in the sea, and I always appreciate those types of panels. I just wanted to say that. Well, it's still the same now that I'm no longer up there. Gipper will never be able to get anything out of Theta. We know you're friends with Theta, but would she tell you top secret stuff? She might not tell you about Nen, but there was something that caught my eye. When the prince first found about Nen, Theta acted weird after that, along with Salkov, who was standing next to her. Sometimes it's all in how you ask, you don't even need an answer. I could have done it, but we'll have to do what we can down here. Don't worry, we're thinking the same thing. Morena Prudo most likely uses Nen. Little do they know. Little do they know. Therefore, to protect our own lives, we will avoid her at all costs. That is the best option. People with brains, ladies and gentlemen, we love to see it. Morena's Conquerors hockey finally got to the point to where they started smelling it. Like, yo, hold on, man. We can't just randomly go out there. Hooray! She stole the Bork we know. You know, I haven't given up on my career ambitions. We avoid her while pretending to look for her. Do you have any idea how hard that will be? I mean, it's just a classic a quest in a video game where you're hiding and you're following. You're hiding and you're following. You know, it's just that classic. If this is all a video game reference anyway, why not just have it be that mini game in like a Yakuza? You know what I mean? Where you're just sitting there trying to tail someone and make sure that they don't see you, right? Or was that Judgment? I think that was Judgment that had that mini game. Yeah, it was Judgment. Judgment was the one that had that mini game. Should be simple. We know what she looks like, but they don't know us. No, they probably do. The tattoo artist who gave us our unit tattoos was once a Haley member. The prince recruited him so he avoided the massacre when Morena rose to position, which is so insane to me that the massacre happened, right? Like, but we were in his client database. We should assume Morena has intel on the personal soldiers. Is Nen that dangerous? I don't know the details, but observing Theta and Salkov, I know it's the kind of weapon that should be made public. I said it's worse than a gun. You're not persuasive enough. Borkson's words carry more weight, kind of like comparing cotton and osmium. If the prince is trying to learn Nen now, does that mean we could use it too? I could have investigated up there, but now protecting ourselves is a priority. We're at a disadvantage being in the dark about Haley members. We should make contact with ZU or Char Aznable at once and organize a cooperative system. So they're trying to make all of them work together. That's interesting. Roger. Bork. What if one of us gets caught by Morena? Would you tailor your response? Right. Oh, I love that moment of hesitation and how they all held their breath waiting for Bork's response. Right. We should plan for that too. And once again, we go back out to the ship and we see the ship heading as the clouds above, and it states to be continued. Man, so very, very interesting stuff in this chapter, setting up both sides, right? Both on Morena's side, and also here on the side of our beloved Call of Duty players, right? Who are coming up in like swimwear, and it's so cool to me, the connection to Terror Sandwich, right? I think that's my favorite part about the second half of the chapter here, and how we're handling the movements of all of these characters, you know, specifically with their motivations. And once again, another chapter that just felt like it had so much to it. You know, we had the stand here at the beginning, we had the JRPG party after that, then we had a Henrik's camcorder, and then we have Terror Sandwich's Call of Duty crew, and I think that's so cool, right? Because now we have a scenario where it's going to be a game from both sides of, like, Morena sending her JRPG party in order to go handle business. But then on the other side, we're going to have Bork and the Call of Duty squad rolling in, also connected to Terror Sandwich. Which we know if something happens to them, eventually is also going to reach Terror Sandwich. So we were all already anticipating that Morena and Terror Sandwich, we're building something up between like the main heads here, right? Like Morena, Terror Sandwich, Kurapika, Krollo, Hisoka. So it's like this will just add another layer on top of that, right? So I'm very interested in the subplot, extremely interested in the subplot and the way that it goes, just based on the fact that it's going to potentially bring together two insane characters, right? And so that fascinates me, and I'm glad that we're dedicating a lot of time to it, because now if something were to happen to them, let's just say a Rogue One happens from Star Wars, right? To these characters, it's going to be like, oh my goodness. So, and this is Togashi we're talking about, so we could open the next chapter and they could all be gone, you know what I mean? Like, just, the man kills off characters like nothing, so it would be interesting if... I'm interested in the route, considering that we still look back on the chapter 397 thing in the tree as like flashback or new content, and it's like, what's going to be rolling? But I'm interested in this game of cat and mouse. Like, I'm that they have to attempt to get close to Morena, and not, but it's like they don't know about N, and I'm going to assume that if Morena has N, she's like, yo, who the flying flutter is stepping into my territory right now, you know? So, I'm so interested. But regardless, great stuff, man. Yeah, I was really digging this chapter, man. Especially, I'll go into the comments in just a second, but especially, like I said, I want to read this page once again. I think this is so cool. You know, this is
This is something that I would normally expect out of Togashi, out of characters that we've known for a long time. But to have their internal motivations just on full display here. On the fence, I suppose if he were my friend, I should be by his side and get on his case. It can be helped. He was born into it. He was born into it, being a prince and his nature. We can't do a thing. It's up to him. Sari himself is okay with the way things are. It's like they're trying to come to terms with what is about to go down. And it's all done in one page. And what's so cool about this is the text accompanies the facial expressions to the point to where it's like, brother, all we needed was facial expressions, but Togashi added the element of the text to make us actually understand, like fully appreciate and understand exactly what their thought process is here. And then to have on the bottom of the page, Sari, is this really what you want? It's like, okay, man, we're cooking, and it's so cool, right? Once again, because now we're setting stuff up on both of their sides, and this eventual meeting now between Morena's JRPG party and Terrasan, which is Call of Duty party, is going to be crazy. And then Henrig and the squad is going to be right in the middle of this too. It's going to be like, man. But I want to go back to Morena for a second, because Morena was sitting like a boss in this chapter, man. And I'm so glad we finally got to. And I know we've seen a bit of her within this stretch of chapters, but here in particular, once again, this is just so insane to me. A hitman, legit. Morena has a whole. If Morena wanted to become mayor or like to own a town, look at this: a hitman, a cleaner, and a feed manufacturer, sewing arts and crafts, a temp agency, and a mediator, a back alley doctor who's also a hitman, waste disposal contractor, which that basically means a member of the Yakuza, unscrupulous lawyer, a plumber, a hacker, and then a pro wrestler. It's like, you got everything you possibly need. It's like, son, where's the mailman? That's all. Morena needs the mailman, needs somebody to run the fire truck, we need somebody to potentially drive the ambulance, and then maybe somebody that could build a house. And Morena's good. And she'll have an entire city right under her hands. Why not? Why not? But it's so interesting to me that pro wrestler is the one who's level 36, and apparently he's so ambitious that he states that he still wants to level up. Insane. I was not expecting this week. I honestly, I thought going into the stand battle that we would transition over to the Phantom Troop. No Phantom Troop stuff, and I'm completely fine with that, because we got to find out so much more about these two squads that it's exciting stuff, and I can't wait for them to meet. Because something is about to pop off here that is going to lead to direct consequences of both Morena and Terror Sandwich's side. So it's like, man, insane stuff. Yo, Pluto! Shadow, my goat! What's good, buddy? Edward, man, it's good to see you in a stream, dog. I love it, Tay. I love, like you said, not only just their intelligence, but the connection to Terror Sandwich. That is my favorite part about all of this, because once you become connected to that man, and it's one thing to be connected to Terror Sandwich, but it's the way in which they value his presence. Terror Sandwich to us, to the viewer, and to the people within the story itself, is a very frightening character. Obviously, people want to be with him. He's a king, or a prince who is most certainly fitting of being king, right? So everybody wants to follow him, everyone wants to be with him. If you're not him, you want to be him. It's that type of character. But now to see individuals who value what he's going through and are thinking about his internal conflict of like, is this really what the man wants? And I think that's so cool. Because like I said, that you don't normally get to see that out of characters that are under someone like that, especially that are not directly under him, right? Like it's not like they're like the Espada, or even like in Hunter x Hunter's terms, like the Royal Guard. You know what I mean? Where we got to see that from like Poof's, like all three of like Poof, Yuppie, and Flippin' Neferpitu. We got to have like all of their different perspectives on Meruem, right? And what they thought was best for the king.
It's not like that here, where they're just simply trying to figure out if this is exactly what he really wants, and if this is going to be for the betterment of Terra Sandwich. And for somebody like Terra Sandwich, who so far looks like the personification of evil, I think that's so cool to have this element now. Do that, because if they get taken out, let's just say, hypothetical situation, Tay, that they get taken out, how is Togashi going to use that, right? Like, if they get taken out, does that lead into us seeing Terra Sandwich's just his emotional side of like, I can't, like, I'm gonna do something about the fact that these individuals were taken out? Or is it going to be to further showcase the villainous nature of Terra Sandwich, where he's going to be like, stop bothering me about such pathetic news, I'm trying to learn Nen here. And I think how we balance that could lead into potential greatness with Terra Sandwich. But if Terra Sandwich does care about these characters, and Morena's the one behind this, Conqueror's Hockey Clash incoming. Conqueror's Hockey Clash incoming. Togashi is back as usual. Absolutely, Shadow. As a matter of fact, I think just based on having like, and based on flow, and because it's Morena, man. You know what I mean? This honestly, this one and the Hisoka return chapter, I don't know. They've all been good. I was about to say this was my favorite of the batch so far, but that's just because I love JRPGs. This was a JRPG like galore, right? Like if you love yourself some video games, this was just Morena is literally grinding, son. Like, how could you not love that? Morena's in a dungeon grinding until these players reach level 21 before any moves are made. I think that's just the coolest thing ever. It really, really is. Yeah, like seriously, Edward. So Edward says, Terra Sandwich's scenes with Theta and Stakov really have been recontextualized. Factual. He has an entirely new layer. This is what will put him on the tiers Meruem and Crawler. Yes, agreed. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. The facial expressions were great, such immediately flexible and recognizable design. Togashi remains one of the best artists out. 100%. 100%. Dogman with a rock. Yo, Moe, legit. I want to see it, dude, because you already know we're gonna get the pro wrestling references. So it's like he's gonna go for the clothesline, which is the Rainmaker. When we see Dogman go up against any one of these, you're gonna see Rainmakers, RKOs, rock bottoms, tombstones. That's gonna be a great time. And he's level 36, dude. So. Just from a power perspective, right? We know that Togashi loves to showcase differences in power. It's something that he's just really he's been good at it since Yu Yu Hakusho, and it's only been further showcased here in Hunter x Hunter. So I think it'd be super, super cool to showcase the importance of levels. If, let's just say, one of these characters runs into a level 21, like, oh my goodness, this level 21 is giving us the work. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? But they don't know that this person's level 21. We know the person's level 21. So we're like, okay, 1 or 2 or 3 of the level 21s are putting in work. In the back of our minds, we're like, what about Dogman? And Dogman said he was level 36 and he wanted to grind even more? Bro, that man's about to pop off like a level 45 in there with new abilities thanks to leveling up. Oh, yo, Dogman's gonna be moving different, man. I need some more Dogman in my life. I need some more Dogman in my life. Yo, Dogman's the GOAT. Oh, snap. Ugh. Morena's got Saul Alter working for it. yo, legit. Friggin' moving, there we go. Moving souls out here. It's actually kind of nuts. Like, extremely, extremely nuts. Morena has literally everything working under her now. She even has, like I said, depending on how goat that character is, I might call her Ren. Not even gonna call her Tio. Just gonna be the hacker. Then if more hacking gets done, then we'll move up to Tio, and then if I like what she's doing, then she move up to Ren. You know, not everybody be Ren. You know what I mean? Ren's too goated. Ren is the goat hacker. You know what I mean? I'm so interested in Terra Sandwich's past.
You know, Pluto, I feel like Terror Sandwich's past, going off of what Edward was saying earlier in regards to Meruem and Crollo, um, what's going to be extremely fascinating is knowing it or not knowing it. From here on out, considering what we see from Terror Sandwich himself, it's like what kind of upbringing, or not even necessarily upbringing, like what led to make him the way that he is right now, you know? It's fascinating stuff. It really is. Will we explore it? I'm sure, especially with the way the Succession War has been written up until this point, and how we've spent so much time with him as the central point of view character in a lot of these chapters. So next time we do go back to his point of view, I do wonder if we'll actually, you know, see some of that. Yes, ultimate power, and that's so cool. Like their occupations are their job classes, legit. You have a whole bunch of, you know what hitmen are? Hitmen are like warriors. You know, everybody's a warrior, man. Everyone's a warrior, but then they have like that subclass, like, oh, they're a warrior, a healer, or they're a warrior mage, or they're a warrior, but everybody's a warrior. You know what I mean? So a hitman is basically a warrior. A hitman is like your fallback. Like, okay, if I'm a hitman, I at least have some sort of attack power. But I'm also a back... Yo, that the individual who was the back alley doctor and... What was it, Sodom? A back alley doctor and a hitman? Son, you means you can heal? And you've got some fighting power? Ooh! You gotta look out for that one. Gotta look out for that one. Yo, Paul forgot NL facts, man. Interesting chapter. Horace. Yo, Horace, now that I have you here, did you recommend Bocchi the Rock to me? I've been trying to find who recommended that series to me. I flippin' love that anime, man. If you are, thank you, Horace, bro. I seriously, I think you were. That's why I specifically wanted to ask you. But thank you for the recommendation. Absolutely loving. That's one of my favorite anime from this season. Living the perspective of characters closest to Harry and the potential added complexity to his character, love the dynamics of the soldiers as well. It's what made this chapter just shine so well. And this is how you elevate characters when they're not on screen, right? Like Terror Sandwich is not on screen, and now we can't wait for this man to get back on screen. Like greatness. Dogman is meeting the troop, no question. You know, Ed, if that ends up being the case, I wonder who's going to be the first. Actually, yeah, now that you say that, then what better way to showcase someone's abilities than have them go up against the troop? Oh man, Finks and Dogman, or Franklin Dogman, just like to show exactly just how, like the drop kicks, the RKO's. You need someone that's huge, right? So Dogman would be like a Randy Orton type of thing. So he needs somebody like somebody who's bigger than him, or just around the same size. That'd be some fun. Dogman does all the side quests before going to the boss. Hey, I can relate, M-Blood. I can relate, yo. Dogman is one of mine. Dogman is one of mine, yo. Seriously. What scares me is that one of them might learn Nen and see Sari in a whole different light once he's out of the time chamber, but I agree this group either humanizes her or sends him off the deep end. Facts. And either way, or both, like you said, we're in for some heat with Terror Sandwich. Putting all my money on Dogman. He's athletic, got combat experiences, enhancer, and the highest level among them. Facts, Shadow. Like, seriously. And then, on top of the combat experience and the highest level among them, he said he's going to go even harder. He said he's going to go even higher. Like, next time we see him, that thing next to his name, the Togashi box, is going to say level 45, son. Like, come on, man. Togashi's setting up so much. This climax is going to be legendary. He's setting... His setup right now is insane with the Succession War. I've never seen Togashi set up this many subplots. Like, there's a million, dude. And when... It's like...
how he manages to keep up with all of it is beyond me. It's like I said this last week, but it reminds me of Goat Bara in that way, where it's just so many different subplots. Where I'm like, brother, how do you keep up with all of this stuff on a weekly basis? And obviously, Togashi has had a long time to put all this together, and he what I mean by a long time, obviously, think of it. He wasn't able to work. He was in too much pain for that. But I'm pretty sure he was just excited to return to it, and all these ideas coming in and brainstorming and whatnot. So having the opportunity to put all this together is really what's been an impressive part about this arc. And I know that we often said that Chimera Ant arc is among the most ambitious arcs ever made and within this medium. By the time the Succession War finishes, especially if it's going to be truly split into two parts, with us on this journey to with on the boat and then the Dark Continent itself, it might actually be the most ambitious arc that we've seen within here, because it's combining so many different elements from so many different mediums, visual mediums, right? Like, it's crazy, and I just think that's so cool. Because it just goes to show that Togashi as a storyteller, his ambition just continues to rise, right? Like, it's just like, now we understand why, even after having a perfect ending, we all would have been satisfied with chapter 339 being the end. I can positively say that, right? Like, 339, that's the end of the anime. A 10 out of 10 series. Like, you don't have to go... It's peak, you know what I mean? Like, right then and there, that is the best, for me, one of the best endings if you ended there. Like, Hunter x Hunter would have been peak. But the man stated in an interview that he still had another story to tell. And it's like, dog, the ambition just continues to rise. Young Wenli vibes. Hey, Benjamin, man. If you're right, that's a real goat. That's a real goat. Now, Recon people are saying that Tree may be a terror sandwich flashback. What do you think 397 is really close? So, we were just talking about that. If 397 is a terror sandwich flashback, that to me would be on the same level as if the original thing that Shadow and I were talking about, it potentially being like the Kurapika flashback. Because getting a terror sandwich flashback goes into what Pluto was saying earlier, and God, could you imagine seeing the beginnings of this man's motivations? What caused him to be this way? And then if it's a Morena and Terror Sandwich flashback, because we don't really know how far like that connection goes, right? Like, or one or the other. It could be a Morena flashback. Or if it's a Terror Sandwich flashback, and it leads into just like a pure Terror Sandwich flashback. And it's on some, like, dude, so, Shadow, I was comparing this chapter, the introduction of the characters here, and it reminded me of 86. So I was like, could you imagine a situation here where Terror Sandwich with the squad has, like, a Shin? Oh, my God. Has, like, a Shin level, like, situation happen there. Terror Sandwich might become one of my favorite characters. If we get a flashback of that level, you know what I mean, with these characters. So, especially if that flashback were to come after this entire squad getting, like, I'm not gonna say wiped out, but even though they could, they all could get massacred, right? It's within the boat, but after something tragic happening, and it leads into that flashback in 397, that would be crazy. I'm down for that, Edward. I'm definitely down for that. Oh, you did Horus? Yeah, Horus, man. I'm really, really enjoying it. Yeah, class, we're not ready for tomorrow's peak, man. It's gonna be some goodness. Ryzen King. Rodney, my boy. Fire said the fourth print's gonna be Meadowham tier by the end. And the fact that we can say that with confidence, Ryzen King, just goes to show our trust in this man. You know what I mean? In Togashi. Because, listen, we have Shinobu Sensui, we have Toguro, we have Crollo, we have Meruem. And to know that another could be joining them soon. And then, like Tay says in the background, you have the real menace just watching in the back, bro. My boy Beyond Netero, bro. It's like, man, we're cooking right now, dude. We're cooking. Where do these authors come from? The Dark Continent, NL, for sure. They come from the Dark Continent, man. Yo, Lazy Mofos, I'm sorry you missed the greatness, bro. Yeah, we it was a very weird streaming hour. It's just that I was waiting for everyone to get home so I could. I was actually supposed to stream earlier, but then I was like, oh, I gotta wait for everybody else to get home. So then I was like, oh man, perfect. I'm in like somewhere. The scope is crazy, Cody. Like, you're absolutely right. In regards to, it's why, like I said earlier while reading the chapter, it's why I appreciate when Togashi shows the boat and like seeing like the surrounding area, because it really just goes to show that the longer we go, just how far away the not just Dark Continent, the new continent is, let alone the Dark Continent. And like you said, the islands that preceded, it's like, son, this thing is extremely far away. No wonder there haven't been that many voyages over there or expeditions over there. You need a plane. A plane going at like Mach 5. And they've been on the boat for a minute. And they barely scratched the surface. It's crazy. You know, it really goes to show how large the Hunter x Hunter world is. And the fact that, you know, we're that small thing in the middle, and then, you know, the Dark Continent is so massive, but it still takes us so long to get there. So it's crazy. Yeah, facts, Shadow. He just keeps challenging himself in a different way. And Hunter x Hunter has been his playground for that. Morena and Terracino is definitely about to get even more complicated, given how the Seraph finds two-faced women cute. His approach to murder might be more complex. That's interesting, Gyro. That's an interesting insight. I'm going to keep that in mind. Because, you know, that's a meeting we need. Can't forget Paris. No, we'll never forget our king. We'll never forget our political Jing-hating king. I love all the references in this arc, especially the Seven Trumpets of the Apocalypse. I love that painting, and I love the dialogue that's surrounding it. I thought it was really cool, and in context, right? Especially with what's about to happen here. I'm glad Togashi is able to work on his art again. His author's comment sounds better now than before. What was his author's comment this week? Since I read the viz, I wasn't able to see it. But yeah, no, most certainly. Like Edward said, the art has been really consistent in this batch. And what I mean by art, it goes on for everything, right? I'm talking about the facial expressions of the characters, the way that the characters are designed, the page composition, the page layout. All of it has been incredible for someone, especially for someone who's in as much pain as Togashi is in right now. It's like, yo, the art has been... Imagine this, right? We compare the art that we're seeing here in this chapter to, like, let's just say, like, an unfinished draft from, like, I don't know, man. We take it back to, like, Greed Island or something, right? And you compare the two, and it's like, brother, the man is in considerable amounts of pain. And it would take it to the volume release until he cleaned up the I call it the storyboard sketches, his unfinished drafts, just to be able to finish that. But these chapters, they all look like they're in finished volume form, and I think it's like it's inspirational. Come on, it's like, man, the man is in so much pain, and these chapters look, they're finished, like ready to go be released in a volume. Morena's broken. My reina. Yo, fags, like, bro, that's my queen right there. That's my... Bro, did y'all see the way that Morena was sitting? Dude, I'm telling you. We had 2 Sopranos references in this episode, by the way. We had the waste contract disposal, which I'm telling y'all, watch out for that dude. That is a clear reference to an individual who works... within the Yakuza or the Mafia, right? Just keep that in mind when it comes to the waste disposal guy. But yo, Moreno was sitting down like son, both hands like this. Woo! Yo, anybody who walks in, they walk in like, you're the boss. Oh, I know you're the boss. Just sitting like Zongzus. You know what I mean? Sitting like Tony. I was like, dog, Moreno looking fresh. Sitting in the seat, hands dangling. Yo, you know somebody's in the room and the hands are dangling. Come on, man.
That's a real goat.
Yeah, it makes me sad that people mistake pain for laziness. It's just how it is, Pluto. Especially in this day and age with misinformation and lack of I don't even know. It's a lack of something. You know what I mean? How much more in our face can it be that this man Togashi is going through it? You know, we see the interviews, we see the author's comments. The man is going through so much pain just to bring these chapters. You know, it's not laziness in the slightest. His art has been great ever since the saga started. Facts, Horace. 100%. I think, Sherlon says, I think he said he got more assistance now. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I thought he wouldn't focus much on art at all and just trying to pump out the story via traditional Togashi world dumps, but the art has been amazing, super impressed and proud. Facts, Syndratic. Facts. I'm right there with you, BJB. BJB says I freaking love Sari's personal soldiers. Me too. They won me over in one chapter. I love how we're following Henrik so much. Man, it really grew on me. Me too, Edward. Honestly, because I remember when we finished the last batch, I was like, Henrik, what are we doing with this? Why are we following this character? And immediately becomes a very interesting point of view character. Not just an interesting one, but one that I'm actually like, I genuinely want to see the end of his journey, right? Like as we continue progressing throughout the story. Not only is the ability really cool, but his character, especially with how serious he takes those the situation at hand, it's really, really nice. So I'm right there with you. It's grown on me as well. He seems more forgiving than Wang, way more forgiving than Wang. And like I said, it's an interesting dynamic. And I think it works. It works for this kind of, for what they're trying to do. And they both play off each other really nicely. So his private investigation doesn't do him bad. For real. Agreed, Cody. Agreed. And like Horace says, yeah, he's definitely drawing these chapters while lying down. At least that's what we've been led to believe. I don't think some people get how debilitating back pain is, especially for drawing. Dude, when you, especially for a mangaka, right? They have to, where they sit there for 18 hours a day, especially if it's, okay, on a good writing day, right? On a good, when the pen is flowing, you might be able to get out there earlier. But if you're struggling, the blank canvas is laughing at you, and you're already struggling to come up with ideas, your brain is hurting, your back is hurting, because listen, once it gets to your mental, right, like even for me as somebody who I consider myself relatively healthy, right, in that regard, when my brain starts getting stressed, my body starts getting stressed. The blank page is yelling at me. I'm like, son, I don't know, I'm having a bad writing day, and then that will affect me physically. Imagine someone like Togashi, if he's having a bad writing day where it's hard for him to think of ideas, and then he's also in considerable physical pain. Like, the stress levels have to be through the roof, and so it's, we just have to appreciate it. We just have to appreciate it. Like you said, back pain is very debilitating. So Tron Fanboy asks, do you think the Phantom Troop raid of the Haley base will be successful and they'll eliminate everyone, including Morena? I'll say this. If Morena and the rest are currently being built up for something major to happen with the Phantom Troop, of course it will have to be on the way that it's executed, right? But I think even if they roll up, especially since they're all split up, unless it's Krollo himself, I don't think they can do it. And I'm talking about specifically from me viewing Morena and viewing the troop members, even if it's 2 or 3 of them. I just think she's extremely OP. She's broken. And from a storytelling standpoint, I feel like she hasn't served her purpose yet. So, even if the troop were to roll up, I'd be more afraid for their lives than Morena's life, considering where we currently are in this arc at this point. Let's just say that happens next chapter. They roll in, or in the next couple chapters, they roll in. Their raid is successful, or semi-successful, because all they do is they just get in. I would honestly, let's just say hypothetical situation. It's like Franklin pulls up, or no, Franklin's. I'm sorry, he's back. Let's just say like I don't know, Nobunaga and the squad, Phaeton and Finks, if they pull up, right? Hey man, it'd be tough, you know. That's how you create tension. You know what I mean? Because we wouldn't know. We especially me, I'd be reading that chapter being like, from the troop standpoint, how are they going to get out of this? They don't know that these guys are level 21 JRPG grind. They're grinders, and they're under someone who herself is insane. So it's like, that would create a dramatic irony where we know their abilities, but the troop members do not know their abilities. So it's like, then Phaeton with Painpacker, you would have them utilize their abilities. Nobunaga will use his N to see where everybody is. He recognizes that all these different individuals are insane. So then it's like, that would create massive tension. So I'd be scared. I'd be like, yo, how are my boys gonna get out of this? So I don't know if I can answer that question. Just in regards to if they would be able to successfully take out Morena. Because like I said, from a storytelling standpoint, I feel like it's too early right now. Especially for a character that looks like it's going to be very, very important. So if something like that were to happen soon, I would genuinely be reading every single page, like just holding my breath like flagnards. Just extremely, extremely sweaty. But, so, I just read your comment here, Tron Fanboy, and I think that's what makes Morena so scary. So I'm going to read Tron Fanboy's comment right here before I comment. This is fair, but I'm just curious because Morena says she doesn't care about herself, so I don't think she'll struggle with Nobunaga or the spiders are about to kill her. Someone who is not in fear of their own life is the scariest individual to go against. Especially in Hunter x Hunter. Because then you are going to place yourself in scenarios that other people would not. There's, I forgot where I heard it from, but there's like the characters that are willing to go beyond the fire, right? Like, well, let's just say if there's a stove and you put your hand on the stove, there are people who are going to keep their hand on the stove until what they get done is done because they don't care. They don't value their life, right? And there's other people who are not going to keep their hand on the stove. Morena's the type of individual who's going to keep their hand on the stove. Because like you said, not valuing her own life, that's going to lead to the... Think about it like this. The reason why Kurapika's Nen ability works in the way that it does is because not only does Kurapika trying his absolute hardest to avenge his clan, but also he values his life to the point to where Emperor Time is taking away from his very own life, right? That is a Nen condition. Imagine somebody who does not care about their own life. It's not going to matter if they say condition with their life because it's not going to amplify their ability. What it is going to take, it's going to have to take something that Morena actually cares about. So... that's a scary individual, man. Could you imagine somebody having to go beyond even their own life because they don't value their own life? So, in that case, the condition for that would be insane. Absolutely insane, which would mean that it would amplify whatever in the Flying Flagnards is going to happen there by like 30-fold. At least that's the way I see it. Because in a series where the one thing we can count on many different people... even if they are extremely OP, is that they value their own lives. But then you have someone who does not. This is the thing about her character, right? Not even outside of the terms of just not valuing her own life. It's the fact that when you're somebody who is of pride, right? Like that you have a lot of pride to the point to where no one knows. It's the opposite of how a boss organization normally works, right? Normally in a criminal organization, you know the underlings. You don't know what the boss looks like. In this case, we know who the boss looks like, we don't know the underlings. So it's like, in that regard, we already know. It's like, my life? I dare you to even come in here and touch me. I don't care.
is very similar to the Phantom Troop in regards to how the head of the spider is not what necessarily like what matters, right? It's like as long as the organization continues moving forward, right? It's like the will of the troop has to move on. That's what Crollo continued to say, right? Like as long as the troop moves on, it doesn't matter if the head is gone. That thing's gonna keep moving. And it is what it is, right? So in that same regard, Moreno's gonna be like, I don't give a flying flatliners to take me out. We move. We move. And then, even if she does die, now we have the post-mortem Nen thing that has been. It just continues to get more insane. So, what is Togashi cooking with these Nen abilities, bro? Because now there has to be a reason why he's introducing post-mortem Nen abilities that get stronger after someone dies. This has to mean that whatever we're about to run into in the Dark Continent... Oh, Lord, man. This would imply a massacre is about to take place. Because if we make it to the Dark Continent and then we introduce that Nen abilities get stronger after death, then it would imply that, at the very least, the major players are all going to have to die at least once in order to gain that. Or at least the ones who are going to have an ability like that. Flying Flagners is in the Dark Continent, dude. Like, yo. Morena got a whole volume cover just to herself. There's no way she's going down anytime soon. That's why I see it too, Shadow. And that volume cover is awesome. Yo, Dynamic, I envy you. I envy you, Dynamic. And the fact that you can read one in 5 minutes and another 30. It takes me an hour to read both. It's why it's hard for me to read both of them in one night. Because it takes me an hour to read One Piece and an hour to read Hunter x Hunter, and then I gotta discuss both of them. You know what I mean? That's why it's so difficult for me to do both of them in one day. There's so much greatness, you know. When as the explicit religious symbols, I think stuff like that might spark a dialogue with Crollo and Terra Sandwich Gyro, because I believe Terra Sandwich in and of himself is also going to be expressing some religious symbols for sure. But of course, Crollo, obviously from the very start with his character, which is going to be very, very interesting if the two do end up meeting. That's obviously a very clear, distinct thing that was put in there by Togashi. So their dialogue, their conversation is going to be of great interest. But Terra Sandwich, slowly but surely, we're going to see that unravel too, because I think that's very interesting what he has cooking there in regards to Terra Sandwich and its parallels to potential religious symbols. The ceremony on cat and mouse, on top of the cat and mouse, between her and the other mafia members of the troop. Can we get much higher, Horace? Seriously, can we get much higher? Hunter's popping, man. Yes, Momame, exactly, Momame, exactly. 110%. Oh my goodness, dude, you're spitting. She dies. Her followers are the one who resurrect. Of course! That's actually perfect! And it fits in line. If she were to die so quick, the followers all bring her back. Oh, yo, I could see that, dude. Oh, man. Post-death Morena-san? Understandable, Tron fanboy. Definitely understandable. I still think she has a greater purpose to serve, but I can see your point. For sure has something to do with the succession war ritual. That is true, Emblem. That's most certainly true. DC are going to be a straight horror movie. Okay, we're already preparing for it. This man had Hisoka watching The Thing. He had legit The Thing, dude, you know. The Khmer ants were even the strongest thing living there, not even close. Yeah, exactly, bro. They were like this is the second time Togashi's done this. In Yu Yu Hakusho, we thought Toguro was the strongest, and then he was only shown to be a B class. So we're like, what? B? And then we said the same thing with the Khmer ants. We're like, they were a what level threat? Like, come on, man. When resurrecting, it's gyro. If we were to take it to that point, it's like, oh, it's there for the taking. It's there for the taking. I think anyone will intentionally die to get stronger. Pluto, I wouldn't doubt if someone has already done it. And by someone already doing it, I mean like a Beyond Netero or a flippin' what's his Don Freaks, or so I believe two things. I believe somebody's already done it and somebody will do it on screen. Someone will do it on screen. 110%. I just wonder who it's going to be that ends up doing it. I mean, there's a bunch of sickles that would do it. Like I said, Beyond is one of them I can see doing it. You know, it's those characters who just, you can just tell all over their faces that they vow that their ambition goes far beyond even their own life. So, but I'll go ahead and read a few more then, and then we'll call it. I appreciate y'all for joining me on a Sunday evening, man. Still super excited for Gyro whenever that is going to happen. Me too, Cody. And it's and Gyro's been built up for so long that when we get the Gyro stuff, he's also another person that has potential to be all-time GOAT, you know. We're gonna let me read some water real quick, or drink some water. I said read. Might as well read some water. It's gonna be me in the future. Yo, Recon, have you any thoughts on how many troop members will join in on tackling Haley? Clearly, some of them have their own priorities or ways of handling the hunt. Thankfully, due to the troops, like you said, because of the way that Togashi's created them, they all do have like their own priorities at hand. I do believe at the beginning, it all depends, right, Edward? If no troop members die to them, it'll stay small. If a troop member dies at the hand of Haley, they all might move. You know what I mean? I think that's what it depends on. It depends on how much damage they end up doing to a troop member, considering who ends up like going after them. So if any of them die, we're gonna see a bunch of them going up in like swimwear. But if none of them die, I think it's gonna stay a small core group. I do. So I guess it depends. It depends for me yet. I think postmortem Nen has been used so much in this arc because it's only going to be very important. I agree with so Rising King says, I think postmortem Nen has been used so much in this arc only because it probably is going to be very important within the final stages of the Succession War. And I'm right there with you because, like I said earlier, there's a reason why this was introduced at the beginning of this arc. And why we continue to see it. Because this is going to be something, maybe not just at the end of the Succession War, but also within the Dark Continent itself. Like, the fact that we continue to see this concept brought up means that something out there is going to be rocking this to a nasty degree. And we're going to see it in multiple different plot points, like I said, potentially with the Morena stuff, and the being in the Dark Continent, or whatever it is. Like, when this is brought up once more, like during the later stages when it's going to have a big part where we needed the context of postmortem Nen to begin with. Oh man, I can't wait to see where that leads to. That's going to be insane. I wonder what happens if one follower kills another follower. Do they get a game over screen? That'd be hilarious. I'd be down with that. What if Wang dies on purpose? His curse and his connection to a smile is chilling. That is very, very true. Him dying on purpose fascinates me. Monumental chapter when that comes back around. It's gonna. I'm talking about monumental. That's gonna be chapter of the year worthy, you know. Oof, that too, Trom fanboy. So I'll read Pluto's comment right here, and then we'll call it. Pluto asks, what is the most interesting ability you've seen in the Succession War? Pluto, personally, because, like I said, I'm a... So, this one's tough. I love Morenas, man. I cannot deny it. I love the idea of having
your own JRPG party under you, man. That is so cool. So cool. But outside of the obvious, right, Terror Sandwich, 100,000,000%. I mean, bro, how could you not love a JoJo ability in the Hunter x Hunter world? And I want to explore it more. It's such a cool idea, but it's also sort of meta in regards to Terror Sandwich kind of takes himself out of the being the point of view character and sort of becomes a narrator, just watching things play out, and then he intervenes like an Arthur. I think that's just so cool, dude. Like that's gonna be one of the most fire abilities I've ever seen. Like seriously, you take yourself out of the point of view character, become the narrator, and then you intervene whenever it is that you please because you're watching it 10 seconds to the future while experiencing in the present. You're experiencing it and you're also in the future. Like, son! So I think that's super, super cool. But yeah, in the midst of all the crazy ones, even with the Guardian Beasts, and with the new Nan abilities, Henrig's is also really, really cool. Obviously, being able to, fuse like an animal and an object, I think it's very fascinating stuff. There's been a lot of good ones, but I just can't deny my love for video games is gonna make me choose more than I'm not gonna lie. I can't deny. I cannot deny. Yeah, that's true, Cody. That is true. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this right. Yeah, Benjamin's ability is bro. I'm telling you, there's so many cool abilities. Are we going to get any Hunter x Hunter skits from you? I think they're hilarious. The skits in general are always like, whenever something comes to mind that I'm excited to write about it. I already have a few planned. None of them so far are Hunter x Hunter related, but if I do get inspired one day to write a Hunter x Hunter skit, trust me, we'll be over in the next film more. But the skits are like my own way of combining both of my careers, right? Like I get inspired to write something, and I'm able to do it on camera as well. So that's just that's honestly my favorite videos to do on the channel, just because of that. It allows me to exercise both. But no, yeah, trust me. If a Hunter x Hunter skit does come, it'll be a fun one. We just gotta wait until the opportunity presents itself, and whenever something pops in the brain. But y'all have an awesome one. Take care. This was a great one, elevating everyone at hand. Love Terror Sandwich's Call of Duty crew, as well as now what we're building up with Morena on that side. Henry continues to be a very interesting character, and things just continue to lead in to whatever type of insanity it looks like we're going to be getting into ours very, very soon. The setup is crazy, but love the way that this week's chapter elevated Terror Sandwich, and we're now starting to peel back the layers and add even more, and like it was stated multiple times within the comments, now we're starting to see we've always seen the potential on the walls ever since the initial introduction back in chapter 345, for this character to be truly, truly legendary within the Togashi verse, right? Being up there with the all-time greats. But after this chapter, depending on what happens here with Terror Sandwich in the near future, we could be looking at an all-timer for Togashi. And it's just so cool to me that someone that's already created so many great ones is already on the path to create another one. And it's just, I love the situation in hand. I love the detail when it comes to the subplots, and especially my favorite part about this week's chapter, by far, is that page where we got to see how they all really felt about Terror Sandwich. Because it's one thing to say it, it's another thing when you think it, your facial expression shows it, and then you have that one question, the question that is universal when you truly care about someone. It's when you want to ask them, is this really what you want to do? And I think that is so amazing. And the way that was shown visually, my boy Togashi was on his A game this week. We love to see it. But thank y'all so much for stopping by. It was a lot of fun. But
We'll see what happens next week. If next week the chapter comes out very late again on Friday, then we'll be back on Sunday. If the chapter comes out early on Friday, I might be able to do it. It just depends. I'm in the middle of finishing up the semester. So it's either going to be Friday or Sunday. Just keep an eye out on the channel. I'll definitely post it on Discord, which of the 2 days we'll be doing. But until next time, thank you so much for stopping by. This was an awesome conversation. Hanta Toyobu continues to go up in like swimwear. And I'm so happy that Togashi's still going in. For my Bleach fans, tomorrow we'll be back for Bleach and reacting to that. And then on Tuesday, hopefully with some more of that Fujimoto greatness. So I will see y'all. It's going to be another fun week. Take care. My boy Togashi's cooking, man. He's cooking. We've been here for an hour and 30 minutes?